Welcome, Aaron, to Bluebell Talks.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited for today. I have been looking forward to this all day.
Oh, great. Me too. Me too. Well, welcome. And normally I would play you a musical introduction because everybody gets, we put on a show, don't we? But
yeah, absolutely.
I thought for you, this is kind of different. So Pitbull yesterday released his world anthem song. And for me, the words in the first verse really sum up for you and I in our business, what we're, trying to deal with. So I'm going to play this first verse.
Okay.
Here we go.
Faster than any virus. It's fear.
Fear.
Now when it comes to fear, you can either forget everything and run. I say, or you can face everything and rise.
There you go.
And let me tell you what I believe in.
I like it.
I believe we don't face everything.
I believe it. So he says, I believe that we will win. It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. Buckle up and fight hard. You can either forget everything and run or face the fear and rise. Well, I choose face the fear and rise. How do you think as an event industry we are going to go forward with this?
Oh, man, what a loaded question.
Right?
All right. So I'm assuming everyone can hear me okay to start.
Yeah, thumbs up if you can hear him. If you can't, let us know.
All right, cool. And so I see my friend Greg Bell from Toronto has joined. I think it's going to be a big crowd today, I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, I love this. But everyone, if you have questions, please write them in because we want to answer as much as we can.
Yeah, please. So, I mean, here's what I think, right? I think that, for people who don't know me, certainly I speak straight from the cuff and I say it like I think it is. And,
Good.
One of the things that I think is a challenge for our industry right now is the idea that we need to look forward to an industry that we want to have and not an industry that we came from. And I think this is a real big opportunity for us to have a reset. I'm really keen on the idea that we need to start setting an example, not as an industry, but as a business. And so I understand that, this is a really difficult time to start talking about, some things that are a little bit more sensitive around, dollars and cents and revenues and businesses and growth. But I think that ultimately, our industry was ripe for a reset anyways. This is a really unfortunate vehicle for it. But, when you look around, I think that there are just too many people doing pretty work that don't really know what they're doing in business. And it started to show over the last few years. And so, that's where we're going, I think.
Yeah. And it's interesting you should say that. I was talking to a planner friend of mine the other day, and she was on this Zoom call. And there were so many new people starting their business now as the bottom feeders, people that are coming in because they want to come in and they see a chance to undercut all of us who have been working for years to build our brands.
Yep.
And she was surprised that was happening right now. And they were honest in saying it. How do we stop that?
Well, listen, I mean, look, my friend Pauline Perry just jumped on. And so
Pauline was my boss. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, I did not know that.
I trained with the amazing Pauline Perry.
I met Pauline a number of years ago, and she's wonderful. Another old friend of mine, Chris Gerstenblatt, just joined. And so one of the things that I know about this industry is that years ago when it started, it became about business. And one of the challenges was that this industry never really put in things like barriers to entry. They never put in some real standards in play. And so as, the veterans became successful in the industry, there wasn't really a lot of need to push to kind of change the way things operate. Now, if you look at the same timelines for industries like marketing, ad, and PR, they all really put in some stringent details around growth and business and stuff like that. And so what you find now and what's going to happen ultimately is, people are talking about will events come back and will budgets come back? And certainly, face-to-face isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But in the industry over the last number of years, it's always been a race to the bottom. Right. And what happens is that people can leave the company that they work for on a Friday and have a new company on a Monday.
Yeah.
Right. With no overhead. And, then they can call up 3 or 4 of their old clients and they can go, hey, why don't you come and work with me? And then the key thing happens and they go, I'll do it for less.
Yeah.
And then what happens? So then it's a race to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're all stuck. And so, what I look at is I look at organizations like advertising, for example, which is a very close creative industry to ours. And what I say is this: it was interesting to watch years and years ago, right? And I might have been on a Young Event Pros list a couple of years ago, but I'm not quite that young. And so one of the things that I watched was when the internet and websites and Google and all of those things started becoming a real factor in business early in the 2000s. What would happen really in that situation is you would have advertising companies and they would go to web companies, right? And they would kind of figure it out in terms of like, okay, the ad company would hire the web company would do the work. Eventually ad companies said, well, this is stupid. Why are we paying other people? So they just grew, right? And either bought up some an ad company might have bought up an SEO company, a website company, whatever else. And I think our industry just for some reason didn't figure that out.
Yeah.
And so what happens ultimately now is it's a race to the bottom because it's so fragmented in what we do. And it's really, really tough.
Yeah, it is. Because you're everything. You in your company, you do absolutely everything. You're one company.
So I mean, my employees are everything. I work for them. Believe me. So
I was listening to some of your podcasts in the past, and you were saying it's taken you a long time to build up your team. You have a team of 7, right?
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
Yeah, and it's taken you a long time to trust these people that they're not gonna, come in and work for you a few years and go bye and open up their own company.
And listen, it's happened to me, and right now I have the best team I've ever had. They're a smart team, they're a talented team, and we are talking about such forward-thinking ideas, and we're talking about working on strategy with clients, and we're talking about an omni approach to the way that we're doing business. And so many kind of interesting things on how the future event should look and how we can put the pieces in place to be able to grow an event company that actually can be a little bit more omnipresent in the strategic thinking of clients.
Right. And so your time now, while you've closed your business right for now, or are you still, client?
I mean, fortunately, we are definitely operational. We are working with clients on strategy now right into 2021.
Right.
And so, we are definitely one of the lucky ones. I think in business, as a leader in the industry, I've ensured that the company is very financially viable, and, we are not going to run into any concerns about having to close the company.
Great. So you're all now planning. When is your next event? When are you saying, you're going to be able to have 200, 300, because you do big galas and big conferences.
Sure. Oh man, I wish I had that answer.
I know, right?
I am not very big on predictions. I don't like when people do industry trends, because honestly, we're an industry that should be, setting the bar and not following the bar.
Yeah.
And I think you can't predict. In this case, though, it's even more difficult. And what I say to people is, if you are only a company that solely relies on your next event date, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Right. And what you have to have in this industry, or what we need to start learning about, is those relationships. Right. So we're lucky as a company. We have, we're the agency of record for some of our clients. We have clients on retainer. And so we continue to press forward with them, because it's not just about event day. It's about what happens between now and event day. Yeah. And it's about, whether we're trying to figure out new revenue streams for fundraising, new partnerships, new sponsorship ideas, new activation ideas, whether it be virtual or otherwise. There is always a strategy in play, and people either have money to fundraise, marketing budget to spend. We have, ideas surrounding ways to engage people online. How to put product in people's hand is still very important. And one of the things for me is that, some of the companies we work with, they've been working on R&D, or research and development, on products and services for the last 18 months. And there's a lot of money that goes into that type of stuff. Those things are likely to get rolled out, whether we like it or not, in whatever environment it has to be.
Yeah.
Right. Companies can't hold on because their next product is already in development.
Yeah.
And so it's our jobs as creative event professionals to be able to facilitate the work that they need to have done no matter what the climate is.
Yeah. And do you see virtual conferences happening now more going forward with this?
Oh,
How does that work even?
Virtual conferences are shit. And the reason is because they don't engage. There is no emotion, right? Yeah. One of the things that the best parts about my job is that I can make people feel a certain way anytime. Mm-hmm. Right? If I want them to feel happy, sad, excited, empathetic, I can do that anytime. And the challenge with virtual events is it's very robotic.
Yeah. And so that's we're putting on a show, and that's human emotion and feelings, and there's no touchy-feely with the
now
virtual.
I certainly, as a company, we have started conceiving of some pretty incredible ideas around a hybrid feel, at least, because I'm limited, right? Mm-hmm. I'm limited. I can't put a group together.
Yeah.
I can't do the things that, my company is famous for, whether it's, dropping tables from ceilings or huge reveals or whatever else. I can't do those things right now. But there's a lot I can do. And my job is to give value to the companies that are hiring me, which is why we're coined a live experience firm and not an event planning company. Right. So I create live experiences. Do they have to be face-to-face? I certainly prefer it. But is that going to stop the business of events? Nope. And so the real issue is, all of these people who are pivoting, and, for the people who are watching, here is the problem. Everybody is pivoting and everyone is a virtual event expert right now. And what are they going to do when live events are back again? They're going to become live event experts again. Mm-hmm. And so as a company, I'll tell you exactly what we're doing. And this is our strategy. My company currently in this environment, in this COVID-19 age, we're pivoting to live events. Yeah.
We got to.
I'm pivoting to live events. It's always what I've done, and I'm pivoting that way.
So someone called me yesterday, actually, with my bookkeeper's husband called me and said, you're an entrepreneur. What are you going to do to change the wedding industry? Because the wedding industry or the event industry is going to change. What are you going to do? How are you going to make it change? You can't just follow the trend. And he made me think about, well, what are we going to do to go forward with these events and make them, less people, make people feel comfortable in the room. And it sort of really got my mind thinking of, between now and whenever this ends, of coming up with something that is going to change how we do these events. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I think the message needs to change. I think the message always needs to change, right? Our messaging is so, we put ourselves in a position right now where somebody comes to us with their vision often, and we go ahead and we create an event that meets their vision. That needs to change, right? That's the first thing that needs to change. I think fundamentally, physically what's going to change? Am I going to take the temperature of guests that come to my next number of events? Absolutely, yes, I will.
But so that was something the governor just said just now. He just said that in restaurants, you're going to be met. You're going to have your temperature taken when you come through the door. You're going to have less tables. The waiters are going to be in masks and they're going to be in gloves. And that's going to be our new normal. So one of my questions to you was, are you going to do that? Our hotel is going to take people's temperatures when they come in through the door.
Why would the hotel has no reason to?
Well, if you've got, say, 200 people coming to a wedding, they're coming in through the doors of the hotel, is it your job to take their temperature, or is it the hotel's job?
Absolutely. It's up to you. Look, once you're allowed to, first of all, in Canada, I'm in Toronto right now, in Canada, the rules are incredibly stringent. So right now, we cannot congregate at all until at least July 1st.
Okay, so
and that was put in place. Right, that was put in place a while ago. So we're April, 14th right now. Yeah. So we love your president. Right. Absolutely. It is now the industry is so fragmented that the wedding people won't listen to the corporate people, who won't listen to the meeting people, who won't listen to the conference people, who won't listen to the incentive people, so forth and so forth. Today on Global Meeting Industry Day, there is 1,000 webinars and podcasts and all sorts of bullshit, and everyone's talking a different message.
Yeah.
The message needs to be...
We don't have a union, do we?
Well, we have the EIC.
Right.